Good evening and welcome to the Look Finance SEQFC preview show with thanks to Vilic Law. Tonight, as usual, I have Tony and Lliam joining me. Evening, gents.
Good evening.
Tony, how are you?
Good, thank you.
That's good, boys. And also, we're luckily going to be joined with Nik from St George Willawong, secretary there. Obviously, a pretty good week for you guys. Nik, welcome.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
Welcome, Nick.
Awesome. We'll get straight into it. Obviously, a lot's wrapped up over the past 7 days, and looking at the previews for the weekend, I think a lot of outcomes have already been determined, but we'll still obviously touch in, see what we can see, and have a bit of a chat about it. But there's still plenty of excitement coming into the last rounds of obviously each competition. So looking at the NPL, I think this weekend there's a couple of big battles. I know the last game, I believe it could be the last game of the season. We may even just start with that one because I think Tony, you mentioned off the call a bit of excitement. Obviously, Sunday, Olympic First City. What are your thoughts? I know you've mentioned it a few times now. The pressure's on. Obviously, Redlands got up against Raw. That puts a bit of pressure on them. What are your thoughts?
I think they're gone.
They're gone?
Olympic rest players. On current form, you couldn't see City getting near them.
Yeah, I agree. I think even Olympic second team, I think would do Brisbane City quite easily. I think Olympic, they've got a lot to prove this season. They just missed out on the premiership there, so they'll want to be. Even though they're playing a second team, I still think that they'll come out against City pretty hard. I think City will be shell shocked the first half, I reckon.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, for me personally, I think this is the game of the round, and it's that passion and that interesting part of the season at the end of the year.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's plenty to go into it. I think tonight there's 2 games. Obviously, Wednesday night tonight outside of Origin, we've got Capalaba taking on Easts and Redlands taking on Gold Coast United.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of those points might even determine by the end. Well, by the time this discussion's up, where the competition may sit.
Yeah.
Another fixture. I think this is interesting. Obviously, Nick, yourself from St George, and I think some of the best games coming out of Southeast Queensland. And I know for myself, I was there when you took on Brisbane Knights at home. I'm not sure if they're referring to as brother or sister club. Gold Coast Knights take on Capalaba. Obviously, with a lot of chat, I think you dispersed of Brisbane Knights quite comfortably earlier in the year. Do you think there's a possibility in the future for you guys, obviously, to come against this club and possibly take it to the big brother club?
Oh, look, mate, anything's really possible. If you would have told me 5 years ago when we joined Football Brisbane that we always believed we'd work our way up the ranks and end up in the BPL, but maybe not this fast. So it's been great progress by the club, and especially now with the pathway opening up in FQPL 2, which is basically, from what I've heard, a direct pathway to the NPL, obviously ticking some boxes. But look, it's there now, and especially if we can work our way into that FQPL 2, football's a funny old game, and we'll have to check back in 3 or 4 years to see where the Saints are, and we'll take it from there, I guess. But yes, that would be a fascinating tie. But look, FFA Cup, if that's back next year, we could see that fixture earlier. Who knows?
Oh, absolutely. I think with your form this year, and we'll touch on it a bit more when we get into the BPL and some new, I hear silverware you've got with you there. We might be able to see that. But yeah, I think that's good fantasy booking if we check that out. The old BPL premiers right there.
The old BPL trophy. It's got some amazing clubs on there, and I'm really proud that I can see St George on there with the likes of Rochdale, Albany Creek, Penn Power, Redlands, Wolves, Lions. Unbelievable. Little old St George is there now as well.
Well done to you and the club, mate. It's a great effort.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It's and for myself, I wasn't quite sure. I remember, like it was yesterday, the announcement of St George joining the Brisbane competitions a few years back, and they were quite the unknown. And for anyone to make this prediction and see where you guys have come, it's fantastic results. So plenty of respect towards the club.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Look, it's been hard work, but we've got an amazing committee that works tirelessly, and being a community club, there's just that extra bit of passion around football, and anything's possible when you got passion and hardworking and dedicated people. So,
well said.
And absolutely, definitely, plenty of people around the football community, especially Willawong, that have contributed so much. So, really good work there for the club.
Thanks, fellas. Cheers.
Yeah. moving on from there, I think it's a bit of a anticlimax now. Obviously, Power wrapped up the NPL competition on Friday night against Capalaba. They actually take on Lions, other finals contenders. Lions, that's on Saturday night. So once again, I think we have the topic. What teams do you think will be taking the pitch? You know, are they going to test each other out? Lliam, what are your thoughts? What do you see this as?
Look, I think that they'll both be professional clubs. They'll the Lions especially will want a good hit out before the final series. Penn Power may rest maybe a couple of players, not the whole squad. Lions, but I think Lions will want a good hit out, just to test their form to see if they've got any issues before the finals. So I think they'll have a full squad.
Lions, from what I heard last week, the Lions will rest players this week.
Oh, 50-50. There we go.
Oh, well, I think
slip down the line.
They are under the impression that they'll finish fourth anyway.
Yeah.
And they'll fancy their chances the following week against Power. So I reckon they'll rest.
A week's a long time of football, though. Like you want to keep that momentum, and So I mean, if they do, they do. But yeah, I don't know. I'd much rather see them take it full on.
But they can't. They can only finish. Can they finish third?
Oh, I don't know.
I believe it's.
I think it's set, isn't it?
It's always hard playing the same team 2 weeks in a row as well, gents. Like I've had in the past when you've got a regular fixture and then your washed out fixture the next week happens to be against the same team.
You know
what I mean? And I've had it before where we've gone and beaten a team and 6 days later they've come and smacked us because your mentality changes and whatnot. So that could also play a part. Like you said, Lions want to keep their momentum going and want to make sure they get one on them before finals.
I think that's a really good point, Nick. And I think this could be an interesting sparring match before we lead into the finals, and a good, interesting hit out, kind of similar to what Lions had against Olympic last weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. What are your thoughts, gents, on especially now in the last round of NPL, for some fixtures to be starting at the same time? A club's going to know what's going on around them. That's quite interesting, especially at that high level of the NPL.
I totally agree with you there, Nick. They should all play the last round.
Absolutely.
I think it's unanimous. I agree, and I think I love that drama. And the best indications, obviously, the two Manchester teams in the EPL a few years back, and some absolute heartbreak as it comes down to the end. But
of course, well,
keeps it competitive.
Even last weekend, we had that where we beat Toowong, and the Ace and Grange game was 10 minutes late, and we're sitting there looking at our phones, thinking, "Are we going to be, champions last Saturday?"
Wow.
So there was that drama as well. So even in the Premier League, which is awesome.
Yeah, the second half of the game, no one's watching the game. Everyone's
on their phone.
Keeps refreshing.
Football 24, getting a workout.
That's the one. Get that. That's the one.
Yeah.
So just having a look as well with the NPL, just wrapping up the rest of the fixtures. So on Saturday, we also have East taking on Strikers. Wanderers taking on Gold Coast United. That'll be another one that'll be interesting depending on tonight's results.
Yeah.
And then also final round of the fixture will be Moreton Bay taking on Roar on Sunday. Redlands with the bye, but obviously they've secured their safety.
That's brilliant.
With the win over Brisbane Roar Youth. So I think they'll rest easy, enjoy tonight's fixture and start planning for next year.
Look, I just want to I've said this earlier in the year about Jordan Manning being ex-Western Pride as well. I mean, for him to get into an NPL position the way that he has, and then to get that team up, and to keep them up in the NPL for his first, a big congratulations to Jordan. He's a great young guy, and I hope that they can keep him on next season.
I was going to ask that question. Is he staying?
I haven't heard whether he is or he isn't. So I don't know, but sure, if I was to find out, maybe I'd let you know. But no, I don't think so. Why wouldn't they keep him? He's done a
good job.
He's done so well.
They play with plenty of passion. I watched them play the last couple of games.
Well, this is what I say. Towards the end of the season, when you have to lift, those teams that want to lift and those teams that are ready to lift, they will. And it just makes a great spectacle towards the end of the season. And they wanted it more. maybe than City did in the end. But no, big ups to them and congrats to young Jordan.
I reckon Mr. Cavalucci will be flipping the rule books around to keep them up.
See, we can't go without a show without Tony bringing in a bit of controversy, can we?
And you
But
imagine, oh, Mackay, sorry, you can't play. You haven't got them. We don't need to be trapped.
Oh, wow.
Tony, we'll get you and him to have a lunch date one day, and you can sort all these differences out.
But I tell you what,
and nothing would surprise me.
yeah.
Moving on from a relegation battle, we might move on to have a look at the FQPL's promotion, because I think some of you guys have jinxed Logan again. Obviously, in the group chat, we've had a bit of Tony, hand up right there.
What did you tell? And what did we talk about once we finished the call last week? You said to me, because I said to you that it's Toowoomba's, and Joey, you're like, oh no, I don't know about that. You know,
it's hard. They've made it exciting. Obviously,
they have.
It's once again, it comes down to the last fixture. Instead of relegation in the FQPL, it's about the promotion battle. And Southwest Queensland have the bye this week.
Yep.
So it's I kind of don't want to talk about it because I don't want to jinx them. But obviously, our friend Daniel from Mitchelton, he's got a big game coming up against Logan Lightning. That's 4:00 Sunday.
Yep.
Boys, what you talk about? I don't want to go through it.
Well, look, from my understanding, sorry, Tony, go ahead.
It's 6:00 Sunday. It's the same time as Olympic.
Oh, it's 6:00. Oh, my apologies.
Oh, wow.
So, wow.
Another masterstroke. 2 big games of the year, both at the same time. Who's a genius?
Didn't we just agreed to this, didn't we? We wanted all the big games at the same time.
There's 2 different regions.
Complete arse, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You have to say that Logan have learnt from last year, hopefully, and they got that experience of missing out last year.
Look, they were all over. Logan were all over, from my understanding, all over Rochedale last week on the weekend, and they didn't get through. So, you know, Mitchie on their day, mate, they can be really good.
Is it at Logan? Is it at Logan?
No, it's at Mitchelton.
At Mitchie, at Tingalpa Park,
They'll have a good crowd there. They always do because they're junior based and all that. They'll have a good crowd. Mitchie will be up for it. Logan, is this the 4th year in a row where they've choked in the last
I believe.
Third. Well, this will be the 4th if they choke. You know, and choke's a horrible word, but hey, it explains it pretty good, doesn't it? But yeah, wow, geez, who would have thought? You know, 4 or 5 rounds ago that this had happened. I mean, we all thought that Logan would possibly get a result against Rochedale, but you know, don't you love football? You love it.
Hey? I was at a club a few years ago. They were 8 points in front with 5 games to play.
Yeah, look, where does the club go though? I mean, are we jinxing them too early? I don't know, but if they fail this weekend to go up again, mate, there's gonna be some pretty annoyed people at that club, I reckon. Sponsors, the whole lot. You know, I don't know.
All I can say, weighing in on this, is I think Logan Home and Southwest, as well as Mitchie. Mitchie, I think we haven't given as much credit to.
No.
Those 3 clubs have been fantastic this year.
Have been.
And I think there was a bit of a cloud over the quality of the FQPL, and you know, overall, with a couple of hiccups here and there, I think especially these 3 clubs, they're showing, and the justification of the FQPL too. Yeah. I think these clubs are showing, you know, it's gonna be good competitions, and you know, it's pretty sad to have to split it down the line between these 2 clubs, but we'll know on Sunday, and I think either way, whoever goes up deserves it, and I think it's
I mean, also too, those 3 clubs have all gone about their business differently. Thunder have come in basically with the squad that they came down with last year with a few additions. Logan similar, but they added a few good quality players in there, but they threw a bit of money at it. And Mitchelton, you know, they've kind of just gone about their thing, you know, and they've, you know, and they're in the position they are, you know. So look, it's fingers crossed, Logan, you know, for the club that you get a result on Sunday.
Yeah.
I think
Oh, sorry, Tony, you go, mate. We keep cutting you off. I'm sorry, mate.
I reckon Mitchelton's got a full strength side.
Yeah, look, it's going to be tough, and it would not surprise me if Mitchelton get up, but for the sake of Logan Club, and their supporters and sponsors who've thrown so much money at this over the last 3 or 4 years, you want them to get a result. But look, I don't think it's as easy as that. I don't think it's going to be a tough match.
Yeah.
And
I assume we've mentioned the old it goes on wins, not goal difference in the last couple of shows.
Yep,
Yeah.
one of the
They
most
have to win.
controversial
But
discussions
is that
lately.
something? Yeah. If that's in the fine print, or if that was made clear at the start of the season, it's not something you want to find out with a month or so to go. Because I'll be honest with you, how many clubs will actually, not clubs, but fans and spectators will sit and read the rules of 2020. So
that's exactly right. That's exactly
clubs
right.
do, but your average fan doesn't. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Rules will change next week, Nick. Don't worry, mate.
Yeah. On that, a bit of fantasy booking, Nick. Obviously, your expertise. We're about to step into the BPL, but you have a look for the future. Willawong's been such a dominant team. Every competition they played in, they've been competitive, if not, the top team. How do you think they'd fare in a competition like the FQPL this season? I think they'd give plenty of people a run for their money, but do you think they, with maybe a few acquisitions, take on the likes of Thunder, take on the likes of Logan, Wolves, Mitchie? Do you think they'd be competitive?
Well, look, I think the most advantageous thing about St George is our home ground.
Oh, absolutely.
Off the top of my head, I think we've lost one game there in 27 league fixtures or something like that. So, we don't even draw there too often. So, I think at home we'd be hard to beat for anyone really to come there. It's quite a compact pitch. The fans are on top of you. Everyone's passionate. Everyone's loud. Whether at our level now and our experience, if we could be consistent enough throughout a year to keep up with the top teams, look, maybe not. But I think on the day we could challenge anyone to get the 3 points. But like I said, just the consistency and making sure you have the right squad dynamics and squad depth. We'll see. But yeah, if we were to add some quality to our squad and keep up that consistency, which we are good at, but I think every week you got to turn up and play your best game in the QPL to be in contention, because I'm not sure how many games have Logan lost this year. I'm not too sure.
They've lost one, and that was against Western Pride.
Yeah, you lose one game and you don't get out. So.
Yeah,
one game get that one, Liam.
But let's be fair. The reverse fixture wasn't the best. Absolutely.
You've got to be that good to go up. Like even us this year,
and look, Logan
won 13 games and we just won the league on the second last round, and we've won 13 in a row. You know what I mean? So like it's
Well, look, when you look at it and you see that Logan have only lost one game the whole season, and it's a Toowoomba of obviously where they are. It's just it's hard to think that someone's going to lose out on promotion because you only lost one game.
That's what I mean. Absolutely, yeah.
It's just insane. So
absolutely.
But as you said, Nick, if clubs knew that it was wins at the start of the season or partway through the season, perhaps maybe you could have had a different result in some of those games.
Yeah, and you look back and you think, we could have got the point.
Absolutely.
Well, you probably settled for a point in the 70th minute. You may have changed your mind during the game. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think moving on from there, just the final fixtures, obviously, for this last round of FQPL is Holland Park taking on Rochdale Rovers, Southside Eagle taking on Ipswich Knights, Souths United taking on Western Pride, and Sunny Coast taking on Wolves. But I think, I know we don't always give the most time to the local leagues, but I think it's pretty good to celebrate a few teams, obviously, stepping into the Brisbane competition. So, Nick, you showed us before, obviously, Willawong's already wrapped up the BPL. So that's fantastic. It's great news and obviously a great year. Luckily, you've been able to share some of the fantastic wins this year. I don't believe there's no final series in Brisbane, is there?
No, so it's last round this weekend. It was just first past the post, which I think, given everything that's happened this year, I think we're all just thrilled to get a season out. What I mean? Like it's unbelievable. And, our last task is against Albany Creek. So we go away to Walter Park, where we went pre-COVID and had a dramatic 3-3 game, which was unbelievable. And then that game sort of been taken out of the history books.
When is that?
No, that's Saturday, 6 o'clock at Walter Park. They're the defending champions of the last 2 years, and we've just taken the crown. So I think they'll try and snap our unbeaten streak. But if we can go there and finish the season unbeaten, that'd be amazing as well. But look, I'm sure Albany Creek will want to snap that streak. There is a bit of a rivalry there. We've played each other twice, and there's already a bit of a derby atmosphere at that game. So,
well, it's I think
the distance derby in the BPL.
It's a bit different. I know, obviously, it seemed to be the natural dancing partner through every league. Everywhere you went, Caboolture followed, but maybe Albany Creek might be that challenge for the future.
Absolutely. Look, they're a great side. They've got some amazing players. They're a big club. They've done the rounds. They know what it's all about. So, just to be up there with them is great for us. And, this year we're able to get past them right at the end. So we'll see what the future holds. They might be applying for the FQPL too. We'll have to see.
Absolutely.
Well, we spoke that at length last week.
Yeah, that was the hot topic last week.
We just put the lid back on the worms there, Nick. So
don't bring it up.
Who's the home team when they play against Moreton Bay? Who's the home team there?
Yeah, who gets to use
That's
those sheds?
Yeah.
That's why Albany Creek went.
Yeah. Moving on from there, obviously in BPL Premier competition this weekend, Centenary also take on Grange, and Taringa take on Toowong.
Yeah. Look, Grange was quite good last night. I noticed they're missing a couple of players either through injury or it's just been a long season or whatever. But they played some good stuff. I think depending what the motivation level is, because there are no finals for these teams. Centenary at home are pretty strong. That's the only team that drew with us this year. We drew with them midweek last week. So, look, I think Grange might just be too strong for Centenary. And the other game was Toowong and Taringa.
Correct. Yeah. Which is another local derby. Which
it is. Look,
be a bit of spice for the last round.
I'll call a 3-3 draw on that one.
Oof.
Entertaining.
Goals galore.
Looking down into obviously the Premier competition.
I'll just turn my light on. I was hiding a bit in the dark.
It's all good. It's a hard thing. Late summers, you don't know whether you're starting a day or finishing at night.
Exactly right.
Yeah. But looking at the Cap 1 Premier competition, Sanford obviously have wrapped up the competition there. We talk about Terry a fair bit, so they're actually playing against the Lakes. Brisbane Athletic are taking on Western Spirit, and UQFC are taking on Hawks. So once again, that Capital 1 Premier competitions, I believe, is wrapped up as already for Sanford.
Yeah, well, Sanford's been following us for a couple of years as well. So when we all sort of came back into it, so in 2016, we joined up with Caboolture in Football Brisbane. Sanford was there. They missed out that year on getting promoted, but since then, they've followed the journey all the way up and just been behind us. So I'm stoked for that club. They're a good club up there. They've got a great facility, good bunch of lads. So I'm glad that catchment area up there has a BPL squad because, with them there, Albany Creek's in that catchment. Pine Hills is doing well in Cap 2, so they could be joining there soon. So there is a good little patch for players up there. I think Sanford, I'm assuming they're at home against the Lakes.
To the Lakes, correct.
Yeah, they'll want to have a good little party there and finish off strong.
Yeah.
UQ Mount Gravatt, not too sure. Most likely a draw there, but I think Mount Gravatt on their day are pretty decent, and UQ as well. And what was the third fixture, sorry?
Brisbane Athletic taking on Western Spirit. So that's the second place team taking on sixth.
Okay. Brisbane Athletic usually have a lot of firepower, so I think they'll be able to see out Western Spirit.
Absolutely. Having a look there, obviously, Capital League 2, I think that's the other one I think we've been following closely. Pine Hills play away to Slacks Creek. Obviously, similar record to yourselves at Willawong. Quite a dominant display from Pine Hills this year. Newmarket will be taking on Ripley Valley and Logan Metro taking on Moggle. So once again, kind of those dead rubbers at the end, but congratulations to Pine Hills for finishing up top.
Absolutely. They have a great squad there. Yeah.
Newmarket and Pine Hills drew 3-3 last night.
Wow, that's a good pickup for Newmarket. Do you know if Leo played as a team or did Newmarket get up?
Been all over the limit.
Look, I think most likely Slacks Creek, not a bad place to play, actually. Slacks Creek, they got a nice little bar there and the fans get around them. Depending if Pine Hills are still up for it, anything could happen there, but I think they might be too strong. Logan Metro are a club that I think is on the rise, and you know, I think this year, if it wasn't for a strong Pine Hill side, I think they'd be coming up. But unfortunately, they'll have to wait their turn and try and contest again next year. So I think they should take Mogul. And was it Newmarket? Sorry, against
Newmarket against Ripley Valley, one of the other new boys.
Okay, that Newmarket field, I tell you what, I think it's wider than it is long. So if that plays any part in the game, I'll call a 3-3 draw again.
I think it's a safe bet this time of year. Everyone's happy to concede a few.
Absolutely.
And then the final competition, kind of appropriate to wrap it up with this, Capital League 3 premiers. This is still wide open. Springfield's still have 2 games in hand. Well, I think they still have 2 fixtures to catch up. One against Narangba, who are currently competition leader. And then I believe the other one, I think, is against Jimboomba, which are both scheduled for, I think, a Monday and a Thursday in the coming week.
Unbelievable.
So this is going to be interesting because obviously after this round this weekend, so Narangba take on Redcliffe, Springfield take on Willowburn, who are another one of these competitive outfits in Cap 3, and then Logan Village take on Jimboomba. I think this will be the competition everyone will keep their eyes on, and this will stretch out the Brisbane League a little bit just to have some quality viewing.
Just to fill the games in. Look, I know Narangba has a lot of old Caboolture boys and their old coach over there. And Redcliffe are sort of... So from what I know, the old Caboolture squad half went to Narangba, and there's a couple floating around Redcliffe, so I can see Narangba taking care of Redcliffe. And then obviously Springfield and Jimboomba. Is that a bit of a derby almost? I don't know if Jimboomba's south.
Oh, so that's not this weekend. That's one of the catch-up games. But Springfield will be travelling up to Toowoomba to take on Willowburn this weekend, sorry.
Right. Okay. Look, I think Springfield will beat them because they'll want to set up. I'm assuming that Narangba and Springfield play, did you say on a Monday night or something?
I believe it's next Monday. I'd have to check again, but that might be the only thing in the preview show next week.
That's another distance derby, that one.
That one, absolutely. Look, I think both squads will win this weekend, and they'll just set themselves up for that Monday night game.
Yeah.
But imagine that a Monday night title decider at Narangba for Springfield. That's, you're at work that day just waiting for the time to tick by because you got that game on at night. So
absolutely.
You love that feeling.
And then you got to trundle all the way north and
imagine, and you lose that, and you got to go an hour and a bit south. So
let's see how that turns out. But I think that's going to be an interesting end of a competition either way.
Absolutely.
But on that note, boys, I might wrap it up for the evening. Obviously, there's another match that's about to commence between another code, but I don't think we worry too much about that. But
Tony's already settled in. He's look at him. He's sitting back with his beer. He's ready.
He's ready. On that one, again.
I can't wait till Sunday, boys. I'm hoping to see all of you there on Sunday down at...
We'll see you at Mitchelton.
I'm working. I'm working day shift, mate. I don't finish till 7, so I'm out.
Well, I tell you what,
football 24 for you.
Yeah.
Games at Goodwin Park 2 weeks in a row. Brisbane City and then the Knights.
Should be interesting either way. 2 good weekends, good atmosphere between those clubs. So I think, Tony, they might be the games to get out to.
Yep. Even though Mitchelton's a lot closer for me, but I might go to Albany Creek on Saturday, actually, see my friends from St George play out there.
Absolutely, mate. Come on down. It'll be
Get behind them.
We'll bring a big crowd out there, so we'll see you there.
No problem.
Awesome. From there, boys, I'd like to thank you again. Liam, Tony, thank you as always.
No problem.
No worries, boys.
Enjoy
Nick,
that
once
game.
again.
Have a good game tonight, Joey. Call it well.
Thanks, boys.
Call it well.
Nick, as well, I'd like to say thank you and congratulations. Obviously, a good way to finish up the year, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Looking forward to maybe being on again one day soon.
I'll hold you to that.
Excellent. Sounds good. Cheers, fellas.
All good. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.